Hello Pisces, welcome to your July forecast for the year of 2017. I am Kiana Mayfield from LibraLunarCenter.com, and July for everyone is a month all about lifting us up and preparing us for the eclipse season to arrive in August of 2017. And for you, this month starts off right off the bat with you, because July 1st, we have Chiron stationing retrograde, 28 degrees Pisces, your own sign, right? With Chiron retrograding in Pisces, for everyone is about ripping off the band-aid to our wounds and learning how to master the hand we've been dealt, right? Learning how to handle our suffering, our sense of woundedness, our sense of pain, right? Where we master that is how we move past it, right? When we expose the wound to the air, it heals naturally. And so, with Chiron in your own sign, this is opening up the band-aid to yourself, right? Everything that makes you who you are is being ripped wide open right off the bat of July. So July, I'm feeling for you, Pisces, is very, very, very healing month, a very, very, very revealing month, revealing in regards to yourself, healing and revealing in regards to what has made you who you are up to this point, and how perhaps your perception of yourself has been distorted, has created this sense of, I'm feeling helplessness in a certain situation. Helplessness in regards to feeling stuck along a certain path. There's a lot of heavy emotion during most of this month, as we have all of this energy in Cancer opposing Pluto, right? And for you, this is happening in your 5th and 11th house. And so there's a lot of emotion surrounding the expression of yourself. Not only the expression of yourself, but your understanding of yourself. And there's a death process that's going on right now. There's a death process that's going on for you, Pisces, in regards to how you express your heart, what your heart even is. It's about the redefinition of your heart, in a sense. And from July 4th to the 5th, we have Venus entering Gemini, your 4th house, and Mercury entering Leo, your 6th. And we have Neptune in your own sign, retrograde, quincunxing over to Jupiter and Libra for the 3rd and final time. And for you, Pisces, Jupiter's in your 8th house. And so I'm feeling, Pisces, there's a lot that needs to be reviewed. There's a lot that needs to be reviewed in regards to everything you have created. Everything you have created has been built upon a faulty foundation. Right? And this foundation is built upon a certain perception of yourself, I'm feeling, Pisces. A certain perception of yourself that is outdated, in a sense, and needs to be expanded. Needs to be expanded so that you can contribute in a way that aligns with who you authentically are. Right? With Venus entering the bottom half of your chart, this is reviewing everything. All of your emotions, all of the internal things that you keep hidden away, right? And this month it will eventually oppose Saturn retrograde at the top of your chart. So everything that has confused you, kept you in this state of confoundment, right? Confoundment of the direction to take in your life, of the direction to even inhabit, the space to inhabit within yourself, who you are to become, has been faulty because everything up to this point has been built on a faulty foundation. Everything, in a sense, has not worked right, has turned up on itself, in a sense, right? Because there's more to the story. There's more to the story than you see in front of you, Pisces. And this month is all about unraveling what has confounded you for a very, very long time. And it is in regards to your emotions. It is in regards to how you feel personally, and looking at your emotions with a deep, deep analytical perspective. Right? Because emotions, in a sense, of course, are not logical. But there is this energy culminating that is requiring us to look at your emotions logically, Pisces. Get to the bottom, the roots, the bare minimum details of what has led you to feel a certain way about yourself, about your world, about everything around you, about the people in your life, about the foundation in your life, and even about the legacy you ultimately want to lead, right? Where has all of this originated? Where has all of this originated? And does it satisfy you? Is it enough? And there's a lot of self-development that goes into this question, right? And there's a lot of personal self-reflection that is needed throughout this month. In a sense, you are looking at the mirror reflection of yourself and asking yourself if you like what you see. And this is all culminating to the full moon in Capricorn from July 8th through the 9th, right? And this full moon in Capricorn will be in conjunction to Pluto retrograde and squaring over to Jupiter in Libra. This full moon will be in your 11th house, regarding your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your friends, the people you're surrounded by. Your vision for your world, right, Pisces? And your vision thus far, has been orchestrated, has been built on this faulty foundation. Has been built on this overwhelming sense of emotion that is rooted in your 5th house, right? It's rooted in your 5th house. It seeks expression in your 5th house. But there's a lot here. There's a lot here that has not been processed fully. And you were taking the bird's eye view of your emotions. You can no longer stand to just see your life, unfold in front of you without you being a part of it. You cannot continue to live on default, Pisces. This full moon in Capricorn conjuncting Pluto, getting to the base core of your desires, right? And the systems you've been living under that have suppressed your true voice, right? Your true perception of yourself, your true emotions beneath the surface level emotions, right? If you think of your feelings as a sort of iceberg, right? What you exhibit to the world is only one facet of the story. There's so much that goes even beneath the feeling you show. There's so much that is left for you to explore, that is left for you to uncover. And once you do uncover it, Pisces, you look at your world in a completely different way, right? You realize that everything, in a sense, needs to shift. Everything, in a sense, needs to perhaps even be gotten rid of or removed from your life. Certain things that are not in alignment with your truest, highest destiny in this world, with Saturn, Capricorn's ruling planet, at the top of your chart. This is requiring you to be ultra, ultra focused and disciplined in regards to the direction you are taking in your life, in regards to the contribution you are making in the world, in regards to your work and career environment, in regards to your reputation, in regards to how people see you, in regards to your ultimate legacy that you are looking to leave on this planet. Everything needs to be kept ultra, ultra, ultra focused, because you cannot afford to be led in multiple different directions that are not of your own decision, right? That are not of your own choice, that are not of your own making, that are not of your own personal call, fire, flame, and within you, yourself, Pisces. Everything that has led to this sense of being overwhelmed by your feelings is rooted in the faulty foundation that says this is who you are, right? And it is not your own voice, but the collective's voice that tells you who you are, that tells you what your goals will be, that tells you what your goals should be, what you should be doing, what you should be like, how you should be living, right? But you're breaking out of that mold now. You have to break out of the mold. You have to break out of the cage, Pisces, because you cannot afford to be led by everyone else anymore. You have to listen to your own heart with all of this Cancer energy throughout most of this month until July 21st, right? All of this Cancer energy going through your 5th house. You have to look at your own personal wants, wishes, and needs, right? You have to look at your own feelings beneath the surface level feelings that society tells you need to be feeling, right? You're only feeling pulled with Chiron and Neptune in your own sign. You're only feeling pulled in multiple different directions. You're only feeling lost because you are not listening to your own voice. You are not listening to your own heart. You're listening to everyone else's opinion of what your heart should look like. And ultimately, this is not true love for yourself or for others or for your life. And this is where you need to arrive at within this month before the eclipse season, Pisces. Okay, so on July 16th, we have the last quarter square of the moon in Aries conjuncting Uranus at its highest degree it will reach this year, which is 28 degrees, because next month, August 3rd, we will have Uranus going retrograde. And so it is at its highest degree it will reach in all of 2017. 28 degrees Aries. And for you, this is happening in your 2nd house. So, last quarter square of the moon in your 2nd house, Pisces. For everyone, the last quarter square of the moon in Aries, as it conjuncts Uranus and squares over to the Sun and Mars in Cancer, is all about breaking out of our prison, right? Of our personal prison, of our personal cage, and creating somewhat of a breakthrough within our personal identity, right? Who we choose to be. And for you, this is in regards to your newfound level of self-worth, your newfound level of confidence in oneself, in your own heart, in your own feelings, right? That you break out of this cycle you've been living in, this self-perpetuating cycle of perhaps victimization, perhaps overwhelming sensitivity, perhaps of feeling pulled in multiple directions when you needn't be, right? When you needn't be, when you trust in your own heart, when you trust in your own feeling beneath the surface level feeling, right? And this changes. This changes when you develop a new level of self-worth. And it changes your, not only your confidence level, but your income level, your method, I'm feeling, your method of creation. It changes how you create anything in your life. Anything and everything changes. From here on out, it can no longer be built on the same foundation. And so the foundation that you've built your life upon thus far needs to be removed. And in its place comes a new foundation for how to create anything and everything else. from here on out, right? Ultimately, it's not just the quality of the plant, the quality of the seed that you plant, right? That speaks to how it will grow. But ultimately, it is the soil you planted in. And the soil you planted in needs to be dramatically and dynamically different to how the soil has been for you, to however you've planted the things that you want to create in your life thus far. And this is in regards to everything. Whether this is how you create relationships, how you create a certain, hello Isis, how you create a certain income stream, right? How you create a business, how you create a product, whether that's art, a video, a book, a business, right? How you create one thing is how you create everything, Pisces. And how you create needs to change based on this new foundation you're creating within yourself once you trust your heart, once you trust your own feelings, the feelings that are of you, of your own voice, not the world's. You create your own worlds, Pisces. You are the Neptunian dreamer of the zodiac. You see all dimensions, right? And you choose which dimension to live on and which dimension to create from. And so you must use this gift, talent, and ability of yours in its highest degree this month in order to manifest the life that you want to ultimately lead. And so on July 23rd, we have the new moon in Leo, 0 degrees, conjuncting Mars. And this is opening a portal to, of course, the eclipse season, because we will be having 2 new moons in Leo this year. One on July 23rd, and the next, not even a month later, August 21st, we have the total solar eclipse in Leo, 28 degrees. And so this new moon, July 23rd, this portal opening that is culminating for everyone, for you, is happening in your 6th house, and your 6th house of health, of day-to-day living, day-to-day reality, of how you take care of yourself, Pisces. How not only you create, but how you take care of the things you've created, how you develop the things you've created, how you work, how you give of yourself, how you give of your heart, right? Because ultimately, with your 6th house in Leo, anything you do create, any service you give to the world is of your heart, is of your essence, is of your soul, Pisces. You put your heart and soul into everything that you give. But with the South Node in Aquarius in your 12th house, right? The subconscious need to escape, the subconscious need to detach from everything, to detach from this world, to detach from your reality, to detach from your work, from your level of service to the world, right? Because you feel that since the world has given you this certain message, why should you give any message to the world, right? When you have been given a self-sabotaging pattern from society that has led to this sense of turmoil and emotional ups and downs, right? This emotional sense of emotional sense of scattered energy, but in a sense where when you become everything, in a sense, Pisces, you become nothing at all, right? When you are scattered, when your being is scattered everywhere, you can no longer find yourself. And with Saturn at the top of your chart, this is asking you to stay centered in you, in yourself. Otherwise, the world will make you into whatever it wants you to be, versus the other way around, right? You making the world your world in however way you want it to be. And this is what you want, Pisces, ultimately. And this new moon in Leo is seeding the intention of a whole new way of operating in your reality, in your life, in your day-to-day level of service and health and development. This is requiring a new level of sufficiency in yourself. And it's the big burst, the explosion into the heart, Pisces, when you trust in your own heart that you are able to radiate this light to everyone else. And everything that you create. Everything you create has a little piece of you, a little piece of your heart and soul in it. And this is what you want, this is what you need. And the channeling of wherever you've felt confused, of wherever your identity has perhaps been oscillating, the channeling of this creative dislocation can be put into a form of service that radiates what you've been trying to communicate all along. Okay, so on July 25th, we have Mercury entering your opposite sign, Virgo. Its domicile position, as Virgo rules Mercury, and it will be hanging out in this spot for some time to come. It will be oscillating between the 7th and the 6th house for you, as next month we have Mercury going retrograde. But before then, Mercury in Virgo for you, in your house of relationships, in your house of the other, in your house of the public and society, right, is requiring you to get to the bare bottoms of everything in your world. To look at yourself in the mirror through the other, right? What surrounds you, Pisces? Who's in your life? What's in your life? And how do they reflect yourself back to you, right? You are weighing all of this out. Mercury in Virgo is somewhat of a scholarly, researching type of student, right? An academic researcher. This placement can speak to this, right? And with it going in your opposite sign, in your 7th house, you need to be very, very diligent and perceptive about what is in your world, right? Because you will be going over this dramatically over the next month, right? As Mercury retrogrades in your 7th house. You will be analyzing and weighing out everything in your world. What belongs in your world and what doesn't belong in your world. What speaks to your personal truth, right? And what doesn't. And you are being somewhat of a you're having to make You're having to make hard decisions, Pisces. Make hard decisions. Hard decisions because you can no longer, right, especially with Neptune in your own sign, you can no longer afford, if you want to keep your energy, right, you can no longer afford to just go with the flow, in a sense that you just allow whatever in your world to, you know, create your identity for you, to tell you who you are, to trample over you, in a sense, right? You can't just become whatever's in your environment, you know. This Neptunian vibe, and in a sense, this isn't a bad energy. It's just when you allow it to rule who you are, when you allow other people to tell you who you are, to make your identity for you, to form your identity as you have this habit, and it's a natural gift, right, of merging and blending into your environment, of becoming whatever is around you, right? The chameleon, in a sense. You are mutable, and you are mutable water. So if you think of water, water becomes the shape, takes on the shape of whatever container it is put into, right? And the number of forms you can take, Pisces, is limitless as you rule the ocean. Neptune rules the ocean, the largest body of water that there is on our planet. And Mercury in Virgo is requiring you to be ultra vigilant about what you allow in your space, about what you allow to reflect back to you. And if you do not like the reflection that you're seeing, Mercury in Virgo is requiring you to make the hard cuts, right? If the data doesn't match up, it's out the door, right? It's out the window. And so, at the end of the month, as Saturn reaches 21 degrees, it will begin to stop, because it will station direct August 25th. And for you, this is happening in your 10th house, of course, the top of your chart. And so where you feel stuck is in the perception of your legacy, right? In the perception of what your purpose is on this planet, right? What you're here to do. There is this sense of being somewhat like a nomad, being somewhat homeless, of being somewhat directionless, right? You do have Neptune in your own sign and Chiron in your own sign and Saturn at the top of your chart, asking you to make these big, bold decisions about who you will be and what ultimately you're giving to the world, right? While all the while you're feeling that you don't know who you are, because who you are is somewhat of a mystery to you, right? Who you are changes basically overnight. But with Saturn stopping at your 10th house, right? This is emphasizing this, right? This is emphasizing this form of directionlessness that you're feeling. This is where you're feeling stuck, right? You know that, of course, of course you could become anything. Of course that once you apply your energy, you could make it happen, right? Once you apply your heart and soul into something, you could save the world, basically, right? You could, but what do you want to be? Who are you, right? This is the ultimate question you've been having to answer with Saturn at the top of your chart. And it's not going to get any easier until Saturn stations direct, right? So just be prepared to feel even more confused as Saturn stops. But it is having you look very, very closely at who it is that you want to be, right? Because this is how you break the pattern. Once you set your desire with this new moon in Leo about what ultimately you want to contribute from your heart, from your soul, what service you want to offer, how you want to take care of yourself, the new way you create anything in your life, sets the tone for what your purpose will be. and what you're here to do. And so at the end of the month, we have the first quarter square of the moon in Scorpio, squaring over to the sun and Mars in Leo in your 6th. And this first quarter square of the moon will be in your 9th house. And we have Venus entering Cancer, your 5th house. So, Pisces. For everyone, the first quarter square of the moon in Scorpio is all about committing to our passion, committing to our love, right? As the journey at the outset is one that requires a bold and courageous leap. So we need to be able to trust in our own instincts, to trust in our own sense of passion, to trust in what we commit to. And for you, this is the committance to the belief in, I'm feeling a higher power for you. The belief that everything will come together. Everything will make sense by sheer love, by the sheer process, by the sheer action of your love, of committing to your love, Pisces, that your world can transform on its head at the drop of a dime, right? By believing in something bigger than all of us, by believing that there is a higher path and a higher purpose to whatever you're experiencing, right? To whatever the sense of confusion and restlessness and homelessness that you've been feeling for many years of your life, right? What is it all for? What is it all for? Is it for a higher purpose? And if that's the case, can I trust in my own instincts to be able to continue to walk the path based on my belief that the universe has my back? That there is a grand scheme and a grand story to whatever this has been thus far, right? That ultimately we will come to a point where everything will make sense in due time. That the story unfolds right before your very eyes and tells itself. And it's by the sheer belief in your own heart that you arrive home. You arrive home with Venus in Cancer in your 5th house of love. You arrive home at the center of your heart when you believe, because ultimately you are the sign of faith, Pisces. If you lose faith, everyone loses faith, because you are the sign of the collective. You are the sign of humanity, of everything that makes up this universe. The sign of the one. And so when you arrive home at your heart, at the center of your heart, right? In your own sacred space of love, when you trust in your love, your entire world becomes love. So thank you very much for watching, Pisces. I hope you all have a wonderful July, and I encourage you all to check out your sun, moon, and ascendant / rising signs, as those videos may pertain or contain more information in regards to your personal chart, and may have, you know, spark and inspiration in regards to, let's say, your moon sign, right? How you are experiencing things on an emotional level. Or your ascendant sign, how you're experiencing things on a day-to-day, right? As it reflects the actual structure of your chart versus your sun sign or your moon sign, right? So I encourage you to check out those videos as well. And if you do not know what those placements are, I have a link in the description of this video to our website where you're able to calculate your placements. And so Thank you again for watching, Pisces, and I will see you all in August next month.